Ollie, how's the feeling at the club after booking a place in another prelim?
Yeah, feeling's amazing. It's been a nice, comfortable start to the week. Getting back into the swing of things post Adelaide, and I think now that we've had our little refreshment over the weekend, we're pretty ready to go. Get stuck into our training this week.
Lawson said he was really amped up by the Never Tear Us Apart from the Port crowd. Did you also have that feeling? Like, did they almost unintentionally G you guys up?
To be honest, it is probably a good motivator at the start of the game. It's hearing the crowd roar, no matter whose side they're roaring for. It's kind of a nice feeling to be playing in front of that kind of crowd. So I actually really liked it. Yeah.
Talk us through, I guess, probably, I don't know, team success probably wasn't the whole reason you came across from Collingwood, but does this just really reinforce how happy you must be with the decision to make the trek down the highway?
Yeah, especially it's hard to say whether it was good or not just yet. Obviously, very hopefully young in my career, fingers crossed. But yeah, who's to say yes or no? But for me, I'm just enjoying myself now, and really still very happy with my decision, I guess.
What was watching the grand final and the final series last year tough, knowing that you could have been part of that at Collingwood, or is it something that you'd already, I suppose, resigned yourself to when you left? Well, whatever happens at Collingwood happens, and the hand that's dealt at Geelong is what I played.
Yeah, whatever happens does kind of happen. You can't control, that sort of situation. And I have belief that, hopefully the long term here will put ourselves in situations like we are now, and that's ultimately what I want to achieve here. And yeah, I was quite pleased, and when I saw some of my friends accept their medallion, it was cool to see, and I had no jealousy or anything like that. I was quite happy for them in that situation.
On a personal note, just with your form, did you feel just for a while there you just not struggling, it's probably not the right word, but just couldn't find the footy in the spots that you wanted, but last couple of weeks it's sort of come back to you a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Footy's not going to always be smooth sailing for you. So yeah, I learnt that this year, and it's time to kind of let that go, given it's finals, and it's it's not time to think about yourself. It's time to think about the team. Oh, it never was time to think about yourself, but during the season you try to get yourself right for finals, and I thought I trained hard and got myself now in a position where I'm feeling good about my footy and how I can play my role for the team, and that's what I'm focusing on now. And yeah,
I know you wanted to be close to the family, but what is it in general about Geelong? What do they sell really well to players looking to come to their club? What is it about the club that stands out from others?
Yeah, I guess you probably got a similar setup to other clubs in terms of the way the calendar's set out and whatnot, but I do like the fact that Geelong, they let you drive your own career in the best way that sees fit to you. It's very individualised, but they know not to muck around with it, and it's not something that you can take advantage of. So we have a lot of experienced players who guide us, and they teach their sort of learnings and what works for them, and I think that's some of the reason why we've got so many good young players happening right now, like Lawson and Sean Manners come in. The list goes on, but I do think there's a very relaxed professionalism factor to it.
Your brother's playing some great footy at the moment. You must be wrapped for him that after the disappointment of 2023 with the body, he's played every game and he just looks so comfortable and so assured down back, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, Jack's doing so well for us. It gets me excited watching him take a big intercept mark, and watching him play to his strengths at the moment. It's been really motivating for not only me but our whole list and our forward line especially. So yeah, fingers crossed for Jack that just keeps happening. But I know as a brother, it's come off the back of a lot of learnings, a lot of sort of things he's had to overcome. It's really starting to pay off for him now, and fingers crossed he can kind of keep that going.
Speaking of Jack Ginnivan, your former teammate, he was a bit in the news this week for some social media comment. Do you have a chuckle at that sort of stuff? Is that good fun?
Yeah, knowing Jack, I kind of can see where it's coming from, and he's a fun personality, and people love him for that. It's different to others, but who's to say what gets him ready for a game compared to someone else? So whatever he sees fit, I guess, to get himself right for his next game. All the best to him in that situation. But yeah, I think that's kind of an individual sort of preparation thing to me.
Was Jeremy Cameron, did he kick goal of the year, even though he can't win goal of the year?
It could have been goal of the century, I reckon. That was remarkable. It was probably one of the easiest sort of assists I think I'll ever get in my career. I kind of just popped up with loopy handball to him, and he's done the rest. It was pretty remarkable. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, unlucky Jez that it was a final, but yeah, it was one of the best goals I've ever witnessed.
Was your reaction similar to Grimes? We've seen the background of the expression on Grimes' face. Did you pull similar when he kicked it?
Yeah, I did. I had the hands up in the air. I couldn't believe it. It was honestly remarkable.
How special a player is he? You got to work with him up close?
Yeah, he is a very special player, and I think it's starting to show in the way he's been tearing apart week by week the games, and playing with him, having him jump on my back, marking contests and plucking them and kicking goals. It's pretty crazy to see, and I'm pretty fortunate to be playing with players like Jez, and he sheds off so much excitement and just experience as well. He's his own personality off field, and he shows it on field too. So it's something to kind of take note of, and try and ask him how he does it. But I don't think we'll ever know.
About Tom Hawkins, how big has he been? A pretty big role in the forward line, helping you. I know he's not currently playing in the AFL side, but has he been a pretty good mentor for you?
Yeah, he has been. As unfortunate it was him going down this year, he didn't miss a beat in terms of helping us in the forward line. Sat in all the meetings, and sat one-on-one with a lot of players, and talked through a lot of scenarios and watched our vision with us. And to have someone who's like that, it's kind of a testament to, I think, the club, and especially Tom, and I think that's why the club is such an appeal to people, and having someone like Tom help us has kind of been, I think, why I think forward line wise it's going quite smooth at the moment.
It'd be a pretty hard call, I imagine, to decide whether he comes back. The VFL side's out now, so potentially played his last game in the VFL. It's pretty hard. I imagine it's a pretty difficult call for the selectors to make when it comes to picking a forward line for a prelim and then potentially a decider if you get that far. Yeah,
and that's their call to make with Hawk, and that's nothing I can have input in. And yeah, I'd just have to wait and see what happens, and whatever does happen, we'll take it in our stride.
He seems like a guy who would, whatever's best for the team, sort of operator. Is that the sense you get? He'll do whatever's needed for the team.
Yeah, he's always been like that, and I don't think anything will change. His mentality will always be for the Geelong Cats.
16 days between games, Ollie. How do you not overthink the preliminary final? We asked the same question of Lawson. Are you doing stuff to distract yourself, to take the the mind away from thinking about what's to come in 10 days time?
Definitely. I personally don't like thinking about football too much when I'm away from it. So I'll definitely be trying to find my outlets and things to do this week. So yeah, I don't think I don't want to overthink, especially at this time of the year, because it can drain you. And that's stuff that you learn through our experience, and something I'm trying to get better at the moment. But yeah, I'm not going to put too much time into worrying about something I can't control.
What do you do to distract yourself? What keeps your sort of mind busy when you're not here at GMHBA?
Still trying to figure that part of it out. You know, we have a lot of, you know, friends around this area, especially teammates. You know, go shoot some hoops, and I do love cooking, so I might be, you know, doing some cooking with Jack and Toby. And yeah, we have a big crew that does a lot of dinners together, so I'm sure that we'll be doing something like that.
Some Aries on Sunday as well. Go and watch the old boys.
Yeah, exactly. Go watch the local unit. Hopefully get a win in their finals.
Have you thought about starting a TikTok about your cooking?
No, I think that one's been taken.
Got a couple there. Yeah. What about I forgot what I was going to ask you now. Oh, Bailey Smith. Would you like to see him come across to the club?
I think you'd like to see any sort of star come to your club, but you know, I can't control whatever happens, and I don't know what's actually going to happen. So, yeah, I guess whatever happens, we'll have to wait and see. But there's definitely nothing wrong with a good player come to your club.
Yeah. And just in terms of the overthinking, so you mentioned in the past have you felt yourself a bit burnt out in the past? Did you get too swept up in it? What was that experience like? Is that you're trying to learn from?
Yeah, I think it's an easy trap for, you know, an unexperienced player to get stuck in, where you think about what the game's going to look like too much, or what the opposition's doing. You kind of, if you think about that too much, you kind of go away from what you're good at, and yeah, you don't want to do that. And I've you know, had experiences where you think about the game too much when you can't control what's actually going to happen, and you kind of don't benefit from that. So there's a lot of players that are good help here in that situation, and something I'm getting better at.
What's Chris Scott been like compared to, for example, Craig McRae you came from? What have been the differences in their coaching styles, and what have you found has worked for you about Chris's approach?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that work on both sides of the spectrum here, because they're both great coaches. You know, I love Fly and the way he goes about, you know, coaching his team, and the same as well with Scotty. And yeah, he's an experienced coach who I think he knows what he's doing in the way he's coaching the Cats side. And yeah, they're a different coach. So I would hate to compare or say, you know, who's better or not.
Is there something about Chris that is stands out so much? Is there something about him that lots of people say arguably one of the greatest coaches of the modern era? Lots of big words about him. What is it that makes him so special in your mind? How does he keep getting you guys back to these stages?
Yeah, it's something you kind of do wonder how he does it. But one thing I've loved having him as a coach for is, you know, he gives you a lot of confidence going into a game that, you know, he's got your back no matter what happens, and that's something as a player. Yeah, it really does have a pretty big effect on you, and he puts a lot of trust as well in the development coaches and the forwards coaches who we, you know, have a close connection with. So yeah, the fact that, you know, I think coaching list is so strong, it goes a long way, I think, in helping our young players like Lawson come through and start playing consistent footy straight away at AFL level.